The next time I am finishing off a podcast episode, I promise not to say see you next week, because when I do, this happens. It is now 2 months later. Oh my gosh. So let's start from here. Hello everyone, and welcome to the EarthtonesGirl Channel. My name is Denise. I'd like to welcome you back to this space where I share all things handmade and life and a little bit of me. So I am so happy to be back here with you all today. As I said a minute ago, it has been 2 months. September and October. Today is, what is today? Checking the calendar. Today is Saturday, November 8th, and my last episode was September 5th. Oh my gosh, the falling leaves sock cal was about to start. My kids had just started school, and I was caught up in the rush of the beginning of the school year, and oh my gosh, and then all of a sudden it was October. So let's go back for just a brief recap on where I have been. And then I'm going to talk about a really huge milestone that's coming up here on the channel. I am back in your preferred spot. So many of you like me in this space. The light, it's really late afternoon. It's almost 4 o'clock. So you know, for those of you that live in the zones where your time changes, it is going to be dark in probably another hour. So the light is perfect right now. I was determined to get this episode in. So here we go. Oh my gosh, September, falling leaf sock cal started on the 15th. It's now finished. Finished on November 1st. And why am I even talking about it? I'm talking about it to say thank you to everybody who participated. So many people were knitting along with me on Instagram. I feel like I've really neglected this space, but I'm here now. It's okay. And I know many of you are on that platform. Many of you are not. So trust me, I will make this up to you here. So stay tuned for that. And it was great. It was amazing. It was a big success. There were so many gorgeous pairs of socks. I will put some of those in here for you to have a look at. And I was so inspired and so moved. There's been so much knitting. Some of it I can share with you. Some of it I can't share with you. Yeah, and there was some book reading. We'll get to that maybe in another episode. There's just too much to cram into this one. And I don't like my episodes to be very, very long, even though I am catching up with you. So glancing down at my notes as usual. And then we head back to school. I know it feels ridiculous to be talking about back to school in November, but I feel like I wanted to pull back from a lot of the responsibilities that I usually take on during school. And I did, but my daughter is now a junior in high school, and my son just started middle school. So I feel like there was a lot to do to settle them in, and I couldn't tell you what exactly, but it was a big 6th grade. I think middle school, that first year of middle school is a big transition for a lot of kids, and it was for my son, just settling him in. He had an amazing teacher in 5th grade. Anyway, settling the kids in, and there was so much I was working on that I actually just couldn't share. I was sample knitting for an upcoming book. It's not mine. We'll talk about that later too. It is not my book, but I was sample knitting for that, and I can't share the samples because the book's not out yet, but I'm dying to talk about it, but I can't. That said, I can talk about the one thing I can say, I was knitting Colorwork socks. That's all I can say. And oh my gosh, did I learn. I know Colorwork, and I've been knitting Colorwork for years. I have done it on sweaters. I have done it on endless hats and mittens, but mainly mittens, to be honest with you. I have done it a little bit in socks, but not like this. This was all over, top to bottom, cuff to toe colorwork. At points, there were even 3 colors in one row. There was so much going on in these socks, and they were so incredible to knit. I can't wait for you all to see them. And I learned so much. And I really thought I was good at colorwork knitting until I did these. Wow. And one of the things I talked about I think end of August, beginning of September, was doing more color work here on the channel. So I'm bursting with ideas and things I want to tell you, and how to make sock knitting, color work on sock knitting accessible and doable. And so, wow. I'm trying to follow a script here, but you know what? I'm just too excited, so I'm just going to keep talking. I do want to tell you right up front, I am going to be teaching color work for socks with Vogue, with Virtual Knitting Live, which is the virtual side of Vogue Knitting Live, and I'm going to be teaching that this month, actually next weekend. So I really wanted to get that in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to be teaching next weekend. It is online, it is virtual. I will add a link down in the description box if you want to register. There are still some spaces available, not many, but there is still space available in that class. And that is on Sunday, November 16th from 10 to 12. It is a short class, which I'm so glad they've changed the format, that Vogue changed the format to shorter form, even though it's still a 2-hour workshop. But I find by the time people get to about that 2 hours and 15-minute mark, they start glazing over, and that last hour is a slog. So I'm so glad that they've changed it to 2 hours. And I'm also teaching sock heels, which one, when, and why. And I will be teaching that on Saturday, the 15th from 10 to 12. So if you would like to take a virtual class with me, here is an opportunity. You can jump on that, and I would love to see you there. So that is upcoming, but let's go back now to October for just a second. So that was September. Then you had October. October was so full. The cal's in full swing. I am test knitting or sample knitting, and and Rhinebeck is coming up. I was feverishly knitting on a sweat. It's a excuse me. It's called the Alchemy Slipover. Did I finish it? No, definitely did not. Oh, here comes the puppy from a walk. Hi, bud. So didn't get to finish it. I will share that with you later as well. So don't worry about that. But I was working on that, and then, wow, the light, I'm starting to lose the light. That's okay, I may turn on the overhead in a little bit. I don't think that you guys are caring too much about the aesthetic. It's just that I am back here with you, which I'm really happy to be. So let's just keep going. So prepping for Rhinebeck, trying to get my vest done, trying to get a pair of socks finished, and oh my gosh, I just did not have the space or the brain space and the time to be here on the channel. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I've been going to Rhinebeck for, gosh, years, over 20, 25 years at this point. I went to Rhinebeck before it was Rhinebeck, when it was just New York Sheep and Wool, and it was this really amazing but low-key event. And I've been going for so long as an attendee, as a knitter, then as a podcaster. You know, I had a familiar face, but this year I was there as an author. And wow, it was an incredible experience this year. I didn't get a lot of footage of the fairgrounds because I wasn't on the fairgrounds really this year. I was in a booth. I was in one of the buildings with Merit Books and David and Charles, my publisher, and my fellow authors, and I signed books all weekend, and it was amazing. It was so amazing, and it makes me so emotional to talk about because I was so proud and happy and thrilled and scared and everything, nervous and anxious and everything, that no one would even show up. And it was such an incredible experience. And I'm so grateful to David and Charles, to Kira of Merit Books for hosting me. It was just, I couldn't have asked for better. I really couldn't. And I've been, as you can see, sprinkling some footage in here for you to see. There were so many people I got to meet, and there were real connections. I remember last year and maybe even the year before, I feel like meeting people, those connections and really getting a chance to talk to people and have them share their stories with me it's becoming more and more meaningful to me. And some people, there were one or two in particular that just moved. I'm all over the place. So Marceline Smith, who's Hey Brownberry, she flew up from Florida and spent the weekend just at my side. And Mars, honey, if you're watching, I will never have enough words to say thank you for being there with me. And just thank you so much. And she was there at my side. She watched all of this happen, and it was just beautiful, I think, for both of us to see people and how much sock knitting means to people. And I was so proud of how much I've been able to help people. And I'm not really good at talking about myself, but I was really proud. I really, really was. And the book sold really, really well. So yeah, that was Rhinebeck. And the weekend before Rhinebeck, I was teaching. I did my first in-person. Well, it wasn't the first. I had done an event at the White Plains Library in August, or beginning of September, end of August, beginning of September. But this was big. This was Big Apple Knitting Guild was really big. That was a smaller event at a library. There were maybe 20 people. This was the Big Apple Knitting Guild. I was on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and it was really huge. My friend Susanna came with me. Susanna, if you're watching, thank you for being there with me and schlepping in this amazing cart that she had, and we walked in the rain. But we did it, and it was just absolutely awesome. But I was nervous. I was really nervous, and I walked in, and I was sort of like, wow, there's a lot of people in this room. There were so many people. There were close to, I don't know, at least 100 people in the room, and wow, I can teach a class where everybody's sort of looking down and they're working on their knitting, and I'm talking, they'll look up for help, or I'll go person to person. But this was all eyes on me, and it was unnerving. It was really, really unnerving, but exciting. And I feel like once I started, I even feel nervous talking about it, but once I started talking about sock knitting, that fear just melted away, and I felt like I was in my element and with my people, and they understood, and it was fun, and yeah, it was great. It was so, so great. So thank you so much to the Big Apple Knitting Guild for hosting me. As you can see, I sprinkled a tiny little bit of footage. I wasn't behind the camera for that either. So yeah, I've been doing a lot, but not documenting a lot of it. Mars did an incredible job, I'll put some more in here too. She did an absolutely amazing job of capturing those interactions and capturing those moments. And again, thank you, my dear friend. So yeah, that was September and October. Very, very busy. And I'm gonna pause because the light's starting to dim. I'm gonna see if I can open the windows and make it a little bit brighter, and then we'll continue. Okay. It's a little bit garish now. It's definitely getting a little too dark, so I just turned on an overhead light. So this is still working. I think it's okay. I just really want to be here and catch up with you. So just ignore the aesthetics for now. Let's just chat and get cozy. What is it, puppy? My puppies. Okay. Do you want to see? Do you want to come up? Do you want to come up? Okay. Let me see. Here. Come here. Come here. He wants to be near me. All right, there we go. Okay, can I show everybody the puppy? There he is. Say hi, bud. Say hi. All right, he's gonna sit there and hopefully be peaceful and quiet. So anyway, that was September and October, you guys. It was just really, really awesome. And my heart is so full. My heart is so, so, so full. So talked about Vogue, talked about September and October. I also want to tell you that my book is now restocked, finally, on my website. Yay. I will put a link to that down below for you as well. And yeah, it is available for sale, finally. I am personalizing it as well as signing it. And I did write a note on the listing on my website, but I just want to talk about it here. If you place an order on my website and the book is going to be personalized, if you do not send me an email or put a note in your order, explaining exactly how you want it personalized. I am going to sign it to the person in the ship to information. So if your ship to is Jane Doe at blah, 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 blah address, I am personalizing the book Happy Sock Knitting Jane and then signing my name. So if you want another name put in there or a customized name, or if you are Mary, but you'd prefer Mary Ellen or whatever you'd like, just please send me an email or a note in your order and I will sign it accordingly. Also, if there is an issue, which I've had with several orders over the pre-order over the summer, if there's a discrepancy or an issue with your address, I will hold your order. I will send you an email asking for clarification and I will hold the order until I hear back from you. So you may get a shipping notification, but definitely check your emails just to be sure that I haven't sent you a message with a potential problem with your address. So just wanted to let you know that. And also on the website is any contact, I've now added lots of information regarding events, where I'm going to be, where I'm teaching, links to register, links for information. That is all on the website now as well. And I think I may have said that already, but I just wanted to add that in as a reminder. So yeah, I think that's housekeeping. I think that's everything. So let's pause and I'm going to show you 2 pairs of socks that I am able to show you. And then a little whip that I'm working on, which is a sample for my colorwork class. And we're going to talk about colorwork for just a little bit because I can't wait for another episode. So hang tight for one sec. So I finished for the falling leaf sock cowl. I was able to finish 2 pairs of socks. I don't even know how I managed that, but I was able to finish 2 pairs for my cowl. I usually am a little better and I can get more done, but there was a lot going on, so I'm not going to beat myself up, but I did finish this pair and I'm hiding a little secret, which I'll show you in a sec. I finished this pair. They're a little bit blown out. Maybe if I bring them in, that'll be better. So look at this gorgeous pair. And I know the green is a little bit different for me, but you know, every now and then you got to step out of the box and do something a little different. I just think these needed green contrast for sure. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. This colorway is Gorgeous Gorgeous Gourds. Gorgeous Gorgeous Gourds by Tiny Human Knits. And she's based up in Canada. And oh my gosh, is this not gorgeous? So here is the little surprise. Let's pop that off for a sec. On the heel, if you noticed, I decided to do a stockinette stitch heel with a regular, let me pull this up a little, with a regular heel turn, okay? And why did I do that? Because I wanted a canvas to add this. I wanted a little canvas to add that little motif. So when you're looking at the back of the heel, it looks like that. It's a little sunflower. Isn't that cute? And I was going to knit it in, but I really did not feel like dealing with float since I was working back and forth. Since I was just doing a back and forth on the heel, I don't always like doing color work on the purl side when it's on a flat piece. So I just did duplicate stitch, which is so quick and easy. And I just duplicate stitched this little motif. It is called, the motif obviously is a sunflower, and it's from the Sunflower Power Socks by Stone Knits. The actual motif itself is from that pattern, and I just added it on here. So excited about that. And how did I center it? So if you look, I'm just gonna fold down so you just see the heel. So the heel flap is pretty much here. And what I did is usually a heel flap is as long as it is wide. So this was 32 stitches, so I did 32 rows, and I just centered it. I counted how wide the motif was, subtracted that from the height, subtracted that from the numbers from the height and from the width, and then centered it onto the back of the heel. And there you have it. Super simple. And then once I did this, once that was in place, then it was easy. I didn't factor in the heel turn I just knit the heel turn and kept going down the foot of the sock and did my gusset decreases, etc., etc., etc. So can you duplicate stitch and add little embellishments to your socks? Absolutely. Yes, you can. And how cute is that? You could put words in, you can do motifs, you can do anything you want. Just another little, why did I do it? Because I can. It's just me experimenting as I usually do. So the other pair, and I was actually knitting on these during the brief moments where there was a little respite between people at while I was in the booth at Rhinebeck. That was my comfort knitting. And I just finished these, which I realize I haven't even posted to Instagram yet. I just finished these also, these little shorties. Look at those. So cute, so simple. Did a slightly longer cuff on these. And because of where the color changed, you got to see a little line of slip stitches, which I thought just looked really decorative and cute. And here they are. They kind of have a slightly tweedy look to them, but it's not a tweed. It's just the way the yarn is dyed. And this colorway is called October Graveyard. Super perfectly apt for the end of October. So, yep, October Graveyard. And this is by Valkyrie Fibers. She does so many beautiful fandom colorways, so you might want to check her out. I will link to her in the description box down below. And yeah, these I knit pretty quickly. There wasn't much to these. Super quick, rounded toe. What I did do with these though is, for those of you who may notice, I think you can see it really clearly here. Yeah, I did a little, this yarn is really fine. This is a 75-25 blend, so 75% merino, 25% nylon, and not all 75-25 blends are the same. It depends on the yarn base. I couldn't tell you what yarn base any of these are. There's some that I love more than others, or some that I'm a little more familiar with. This one was a little bit on the thinner side, on the lighter side or thinner side. I think to say thinner is fair. So I wanted to put in a short row heel, the Shatter Up short row heel, but I knew I was going to get a little bit of pulling over the instep. So I added a short mini heel flap adjustment. So just a little mini heel flap here, and then worked the short row and then did a mini gusset right in here. And that worked perfectly. These fit so well. And I don't know if it's just that I'm getting older and my feet are changing. Couldn't tell you what it is, but I find I need that little extra room lately. So I've just been adding that in. It's part of, and I've talked about this many times here on the channel, that is the mini heel flap adjustment by Mina Phillip, and it's part of her vanilla sock recipe pattern, and I will link to that in the show notes below for you. So, yep, super quick, super easy. October Graveyard socks by Valkyrie Fibers, and I love them so much. So that is my knitting, that's it. That is all I have, oh my gosh. And like I said, I did so much on the sweater. I got the entire back of the, not the sweater, but the vest that I was working on. I got the back done, and it's a really unique, beautiful, and I'm gonna talk about it more because I do plan on finishing it. It's a really unique design. So you work from the shoulder down, pick stitches up, and then work down the front. Really unique, very interesting, very engaging, even though it's a simple, pretty much simple stockinette stitch vest, but really, really engaging design. So I will share that in another episode. What else do I have? Let's talk Colorwork for a minute. Let me go grab my book and I will show you. So the samples that I was working on, as I said, hugely inspired me, motivated, inspired, excited me for, and reignited this love of colorwork knitting, but now applying it to socks because, socks, of course. So I bought this big monstrosity. And what is in here, you ask? Let's open it and see. This houses, so I think my issue with colorwork socks was the fit. Making sure that the floats were loose enough that the sock would fit over my foot, but yet not too loose. Pause. Sorry, puppy heard a puppy and started to go nuts. So one of the things was keeping the floats loose enough when I'm knitting socks that it will fit over my foot, but not so loose that when you're putting your foot down in the sock, your toes get caught on the floats. And then honestly, I'm gonna be really honest, unpopular opinion for just a moment. It's a lot of work, or felt like a lot of work to me in the past to do all of that color work and all of that detailed knitting, and it was just gonna go down in my shoe and no one was gonna see it. Boy, was I wrong. So wrong. I needed to find the right formula. I needed to find the right number of stitches to cast on and the right mix of color work so that it felt easy and accessible, yet still beautiful and decorative. And I have finally found it, you guys. I've talked about this book before, but I am now headfirst, hardcore in to the Doodle directory by Jamie Lomax. And if, for those of you that don't know, Jamie has doodle decks and charts and decks and all of these amazing, she's created an entire color work doodling world, and it's all on her website. She's on Instagram. She has started a podcast, which is great. She does a lot of tutorials now. She's just getting herself into that, and wow, just wow. Jamie is so inspiring for me right now, and I'm so excited to be working with her. And I'm also going to talk about a class that's coming up with her on the 19th of November, but we'll talk about that in another episode. So I took all of Jamie's decks and put them in this binder here, and they're all here. This is kind of heavy and big, but I'm going to see if I can hold it. So this is, oh, as I'm hitting myself, pages. I hope this is on camera because I'm trying to do this and not look. Pages and pages and pages of cards of doodle pages. Here, let me find a good page. So these are all of her doodle cards. Ta-da! So she designs these absolutely beautiful cards. So she shows you the motif and then the chart. And oh my gosh, she did her book, which was released last year. And then this year at Rhinebeck, she was sharing, and I'll put a picture of that in here for you. All of the charts from the book were then put into a huge collection of over 200 of these little cards. And that is what is now in my big binder here. So the binder I bought on Amazon, and the sleeves, it came with the sleeves. It's a 9-card insert, double-sided. So there are hundreds of these in here right now. I have the 200 deck, and then I bought some additional decks that she had based on different cities, based on different themes. She had a Edinburgh and a London and an Ireland and all kinds of things. I mean, there's a magic deck. It's really fairy tale deck. It's endless. So I've put all of them, rather than flipping through the decks and trying to remember where everything came from and it being messy, I just put everything in one big binder, and here we go. And I'll talk about this and share this again, I think with a better view, like a top-down view, so you could really see what this looks like. So this is what I'm working on. And this, as I reach off camera, is one of the samples that I'm currently working on for my class. And here it is. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Is this not just gorgeous? Oh, I mean, not only are the colors absolutely beautiful and my colors, but this is one of her, this particular pattern are 1, 2, 3 different charts from her basic doodle chart, basic doodle deck is what I'm trying to say. So this one comes with, I think there's 50 different charts in the deck, and you can mix and match. And this particular number of stitches that I'm working on, this is 72. 72 stitches is the sweet spot for me. It's all of her charts are multiples of 12. So you can do 6, 12, 24, and this is the 72 size, 72 stitch size. I went down a smaller size for the cuff, and I just finished the heel and also did the heel on a smaller needle. So this I did on a 0. Yes, a 0, not a 0, a US 0, which is 2 millimeter, a 2 millimeter needle. And I did the cuff and the heel in that size, and then 2.25 millimeter for the actual leg, the body of the sock. So it works perfectly for me. I am one of these really odd, it's okay, it's okay. My daughter's trying to keep the puppy quiet. I'm one of these really odd people that actually goes down in a needle size rather than up when doing color work. I am absolutely the exception. I don't know, and I think it's the way that I knit, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more later and go into more detail about this. I hold a yarn in each hand when I'm knitting, when I do color work, and my left hand is much more loose than my right. So in order to maintain that tension, I go down a needle size, and it works perfectly. So more on that later. So that, oh my gosh, you guys, I think that's just about everything for now. I wanted, like I said, I really wanted to come on and catch up with you. We're entering the end of fall, and the holiday season is going to start soon. And the Vogue event is my last really big event, and then I can just sort of ride out the rest of the year and be here on the channel, be on Instagram a little bit more, posting and sharing a little more. So finally get my Colorwork workshop up and running here on the channel. So lots of stuff coming. I'm finally feeling calmer again, which is really, really good. So thank you all so much for being here with me today. Thank you for sticking with me. To the lady that I ran into at Stu Leonard's yesterday. Hello, I hope you're watching. I am back here on the channel. Yes, I was in Stu Leonard's shopping, and someone said, don't you have a podcast? Aren't you, what's your name again? The Brown something? So here I am. Thank you to everybody who has stuck with me. Oh my gosh, and I almost forgot to say, this channel is about to hit another huge milestone. At the beginning of the year, I had just hit 40,000 on this channel, 40,000 subscribers, and we are about to hit, and I say we because I see this as a community, but we're about to hit 50,000. And do the numbers mean anything? No, they really don't. They mean absolutely nothing. But does it feel really good to see the numbers climb? Does it give me a sense of validation, or not even validation, but accomplishment? I think that's a better word. Yes, it really does. And it's these people want to be here. You all want to be here with me. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for that, for your support, for encouragement, for cheering me on. It means a lot. It means a lot. And I want to take that feeling and that encouraging sense of encouraging one another. I want to take that into the rest of the year and the holiday season, because I feel like we're all going to need it. We're really all going to need that lifting each other up. So it's another reason I really wanted to be here to start winding down. I wanted to come at the beginning of November to start winding down the rest of the year with you all. I need it. I need to be here. I need to be interacting with you. I hope that you find a respite here with me on the channel. I love this space. I love the community that I've built, and I am so grateful to all of you for following along with me. Thanks, everyone. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Deep breath. I will see you later. I'm not saying the other thing. No, I will see you all later. Thanks, everybody. Bye.